Okay, we are spending a couple of nights over at what is thus far in my travels as an RVer. It's got to be my favorite place. I just love this place. It's called FDR State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia. I'm going to make several little videos and splice them together here to show you the area and how beautiful it is. Is it the most beautiful place in the world? No. Is it the best campground in the world? No, but there's just something about this place I absolutely love, and we hit the weather perfectly. It is just absolutely wonderful. This place named after not my favorite president, but it's just absolutely wonderful. A lot of it was built by the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, back in the 30s and 40s, I believe it was. Let me flip around here and show you the visitor center, and I want you to notice the stonework on this. This is where you check in before you go into the campground. They have a lot of they have like over 500 campsites here. This place is over 9,000 acres. It is huge, the biggest state park in Georgia, and really beautiful campsites, very nice. You can get lakeside sites, or you can get in the woods, which is where we are. Here's a little statue of a worker that's kind of commemorating the CCC. The CCC, Roosevelt used to put a lot of people back to work after the Depression. But I'm gonna go into the visitor center here because I need to get a map. So I'll be back with you. Okay, this is the view outside the visitor center. Look at the stonework on this. This was built right after the Great Depression. This is in Pine Mountain, Georgia, but I want to show you the view that is out behind this visitor center. Near here is a place called Warm Springs, Georgia, and that's where the Little White House was. President Roosevelt made that his second home, and he came to Warm Springs because, of course, as you know now, didn't know back then, but he had polio. And Warm Springs, he would come down to the Warm Springs and just, you know, that would help relieve his polio, and they built the Little White House in Warm Springs, which is about 10 miles from here, and that's where he died. He was sitting for an oil painting, and he had a hemorrhage, a brain hemorrhage, and died while he was sitting there. And you can go there and tour the Little White House, but he would come to, there's an area close by to this that has this same view. Maybe I'll get over there before I leave, but I wanted to show you this view and how spectacular it is. This is in Pine Mountain, Georgia, which is between Atlanta to the north and Columbus, Georgia to the south. But just check out this fantastic view. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. I just love this place. It's just something about it. You know, it's not the Grand Canyon, it's not Niagara Falls, but it is its own kind of beautiful. It's right here behind the visitor center. I just cannot get enough of this view. You can rent cottages here, like I said, and they're right down there, and you can sit in front of your cottage and you'll have this view. And we hit the weather just right. It is absolutely beautiful. It's in the mid-70s today, cool at night. I think it's about to turn cold, but right now it's wonderful. But just take a look at that view. Is that not beautiful? Pine Mountain, Georgia. This is near, as I said, Warm Springs, and it's also near a resort called Callaway Gardens. I've been there many times. It's worth going through, but this is enough for me right here. That's your money shot. Now this is looking back toward the town of Pine Mountain, and what you're looking at, as much as you can see it, is the resort of Callaway Gardens. And it's just a beautiful area. The lake that you see up near the top. That's called Robin Lake, and there's a golf course. You can see it as well, perhaps. Robin Lake it's beautiful, and I saw people. They used to have people ski there in competitions, and it's just a beautiful area. You have to charge admission to go into the gardens. They charge admission. And starting this weekend, actually, every year they have what's called the Fantasy and Lights. And we're going to be gone when that starts, but it's Fantasy and Lights for the holiday season. I really wish we could drive through it, but it's not going to be starting until the 2 days after we leave. But that's one overall shot of Callaway Gardens. I want to make a little video. This is coming into the state park, FDR State Park, here in Pine Mountain. Just beautiful. I think we're past the peak of the leaf changing, but it's still really, really pretty. This is the main road through the park, and it's going to take us down by Lake Delano. This park has a lot of hiking trails, and after in a little bit here, I'm going to go avail myself of one of them. I'm really looking forward to that. But they have several cottages for rent, hundreds of campsites. Just look how beautiful it is. It's just so peaceful in here, so serene, so picturesque. If you ever get down in this neck of the woods, it's, as I said, it's between Atlanta and Columbus, Georgia, close to the Alabama line. The closest town of size to Pine Mountain would be LaGrange. Not that LaGrange, but LaGrange, Georgia. Just beautiful. Right up here, we should be crossing a bridge across the lake. Speed bumps. They have an amphitheater. A lot of wonderful amenities here. Pine Mountain has a pretty good share of restaurants. If you want to go and eat out, we normally don't. We're just cooking at the campsite. This is Lake Delano. Beautiful. They have fishing, they have boating, swimming. No swimming. There's a sign that says no swimming. And on the other side of the lake over there, you can see that they have 5 campgrounds. There's one of them. I'm going to look through that because next time I come here, we've been several times, but next time I come here, I want to try and get a lakeside campsite. But I haven't come across a turkey in the whole bunch. They're all really great. I'm gonna pull in here. This Airstream to the right, they have a primo campsite. Let me tell you, that is campsite number 101. I need to see if I can. That is a primo campsite right there, 101. You need to remember that, buddy. Lakeside and a beautiful Airstream. I love Airstreams. But I'll tell you, this is a incredibly popular park, and it can be dicey getting a campsite here at times. But this is a great time to come. Early to mid-November. The weather's still really nice, although I believe it's about to turn rather chilly. But there's several open campsites right now, but that 101, I need to remember that. We're in site 515, and it's nice. It's in the woods. But yeah, there's all kinds. There's some more great sites as well. As a matter of fact, I see a couple of others that would be fantastic. And right up here on the left is the, there's a little picnic area. And right up there is the, they call that the trading post. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm gonna pull in there because I'm gonna try and park. That's the trading post. And you can get, you know, just basic supplies there, ice and firewood and things of that nature. Okay, I have picked up the Delano trail. It's really hard to see where it goes because there's so many leaves on the ground. But what you do is, a lot of you know, I'm sure, is on these trails, they're marked with blazes. And blazes are different colors that are painted on trees from time to time as you're hiking, and that kind of keeps you on course. I see one now. I'm on a trail with white blazes. I'll show you here. And so as you're walking, as you're hiking, you just look for the white blazes, and that's what keeps you on the trail. See that? And this trail it's beautiful in here. This trail is 1/8 of a mile. The last time I came here, I did another hike. It's called the Liberty Pool Trail. And it's about 1.5 miles. And I did that, but I took a wrong turn somewhere. And somehow I wound up out on a state highway. And I walked, and I walked, and I walked along that state highway, along the roadside, until I finally found my way back to FDR campground, state park. But this is great because it's really hilly. Let me pan around here. Here's another blaze. It's really hilly. It's really rugged terrain, relatively rugged terrain. And it is a great workout. I love hiking. So there you see a tree behind me with another blaze on it. So that'll keep me. This is basically a loop. I started at the trading post, which is close to the campground I'm in. And this, I'm already huffing and puffing. This trail, the Delano trail, goes for I think 1/8 of a mile, and it's just a big loop, and it basically brings you back to where you started. This is great exercise. This is my favorite. And you've got markers along here. This says, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's me. The eastern red cedar. This evergreen tree provides food and cover for wildlife. Its wood repels insects and is used for pet padding and clothes chest. I love cedar trees. When I was a kid, my father would cut down a cedar tree from property he owned and bring it home for a Christmas tree. I love the smell of cedar. It's wonderful. But just look how beautiful this is. And it's really, really hilly. But I love it. This has got to be one of my favorite spots ever. The only bad thing about FDR State Park is I wish it were named Ronald Reagan State Park or Donald Trump State Park or Grover Cleveland State Park. But that's okay. FDR made his mark on this area. He had, as I said earlier, the little White House was nearby. He died there. And that's another interest. I've been there before. It's a museum. You can go and tour the house where he lived part-time. And they've got a lot of interesting exhibits there from his terms as president. I think he served, 12 years? He served so long they had to change the law. But yeah, the little White House is, you might want to look it up on the internet. It's really, really interesting. Even if you're not a fan of FDR, it's history and it's interesting. Let me pan around here one more time. I am climbing a hill, let me tell you. I can feel the old heart rate is pumping. It's interesting here in the middle of nowhere. I have great cell coverage, just really fantastic. Same in the campground. But I'm using connecting internet, so I'm sure that helps. Not out here, I'm not, but I've got like 3 bars of service even out here. Okay, I'll get back to you. I feel like I'm in some sort of enchanted forest. I gotta catch my breath. Down here is a little creek. Maybe you can see that there. And there's a big hill I just came down from. Coming down the hill is about as tough as going up. Whew. It's so peaceful. It's so quiet. When you left the campground, there was a guy out there with a blower making a lot of racket. But once you get out here deep into the woods, it's just really, really peaceful. Oh man, this is fantastic. I really lucked out on the weather too. Look at this beautiful pine tree. Huge for this part of the country anyway. I think that's huge. The trail is fairly well covered with dead leaves, but all you really have to do is look for the blazes. They're pretty good about keeping a blaze every few feet, you know, so you won't get lost. And I see I'm about to go back up the hill again. Yeah, there's another blaze. White blaze. That keeps you from getting lost. I don't know what happened to me last time. I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. That won't happen this time. Little ride through our campground. We're in the 500 loop. That's the campground host over there. And they can also supply you with firewood if you need some. And I wanted to show you right up here on the right, we're in 515, but here at 501, that's called a casita. It's a fiberglass trailer. They're all 17 feet long, and we almost bought one. In the end, we went with the Jayco, but that's a really small camper. I've seen 2 of them here in the campground. They make those in Texas, in Rice, Texas. That's a casita. They have different models, but they're all 17 feet long. And here you see we're in the woods. There's a lot of great, you know, the sites aren't as big as, say, the typical Army Corps of Engineers. Of course, this is a state park campground. The sites are generally going to be a little bit smaller, but these are fine. They're more than adequate. This one's really close to the road, as you can see. But they have campsites on either side of the road here. Some are pull-through sites. Some are back ends. We're in a back end site. The last time we were here, we were on this side in a pull-through. But I like our site better this time. There's a Class A. It's site 507. That's nice. Class A's are nice. They're also costly to maintain and costly to purchase. There's a pull-through, 509. I've got to find the dump station. We'll have to avail ourselves of that when we leave. That's 510. It's not a bad little site of pull-through. Those folks are from Florida. This is a great pull-through site. 511. Look at the woods behind the site. That would be a nice site. And over here is 512, another pull-through. So I'm getting close to home here. Such a beautiful place. A really well-maintained campground. 514. That may be the one we had before. That's 513. That's a GeoPro. Those are nice. I looked at that. Actually, I almost bought one of those as well, but not quite. And here we are, 515 with the little Jayco. There you go, the 500 loop.